Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pixels and Ink, the official podcast of CGMagazine, where we take a critical eye to gaming, comics, tech, and media. I'm your host today, Chris DeHoog, and I'm joined by our editor-in-chief, Brendan Fry,
Hello there, Chris.
Dana Eileen,
Howdy.
and Jordan Biordi.
What's happening, y'all?
How's everybody doing today?
I'm good.
My phone doesn't have a not vibrate option, and I don't know where to put it. That's how I'm
Is that a
doing.
not vibrate option? Really? It's
It would
2023.
involve like really deep into the settings. You know how usually there's like vibrate, silent, or sound? This one's silent and vibrate are the same.
My iPhone just has a toggle.
Yeah, same with the Samsung.
Apple
Well,
supremacy.
I'll have a Samsung again in a couple hours.
To be fair, Samsung doesn't have a toggle. They just have a software thing.
Yeah, that's great. I'm good with a not vibrate. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I want
turn it all the
buttons
way
to be in the
down.
negative from now on. I don't want to press what it does. I want to press what it doesn't do.
Call the "Can you not" feature.
I'm here with
Just imagine
I
like,
like
at
that.
the next like Samsung presentation, it's like someone gets on stage and says, "Can you not?" Introducing.
Herbert, no. I'm sorry. I take it back. I apologize for that reference.
The Samsung, however you do.
I'm very excited by the link that you sent us, Chris. I can't talk about it now, but I'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Cool.
Any
Quiet now.
reference?
Quiet
Yeah, but yeah, we're starting off today by talking about the big silver screen. We had the Oscars last weekend, and I know everyone here was just on the edge of their seat for the entire thing.
now. To be fair, I do
always.
watch the Oscars. It just got jacked up for me this year.
How so?
Well, we record. I don't believe in commercials, so I record it for like a good chunk of the way, and then I keep going. Like I fast forward through everything, and eventually, life is good. And usually, you record like the 30 minutes afterwards because, nothing's ever on time. But this stopped dead in like they hadn't even got into like any good awards yet. I don't even know how far back we were gone. But I was like, oh, I guess I'll find out who wins Best Actor, Best Actress, and I was gonna say Game of the Year. Close enough. You got it. I was like, I guess I'll find out on the internet tomorrow or in an hour. I don't know. So that was
Yeah,
annoying.
We watched it on HBO Max. It was like there was like the Oscars and then like this like short like because of like the like I guess it was like the Brazilian network ish that like was like kind of like hosting it. There'd be like small intermissions where the commercials like would have gone, and then a couple like sponsored things that I think were like for the Oscars specifically, like commercials that were like sponsoring the Oscars. So we didn't really get a lot of commercials. We were also watching it like my girlfriend had it on her tablet while we were watching the last episode of The Last of Us.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
that
was
was a
like-
complicated situation for everybody.
Staying informed.
I'm just happy everybody finally caught up to that giraffe scene.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I
That-
I knew it was coming.
No, but like that blue screen image that's all over the internet right now, everybody's surprised that the whole area was blue screen, but the giraffe was not. That was in the screener I got. I had no idea where they were. All I saw
Oh,
was
really?
blue
They
and-
forgot to add in
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
background.
So like I saw that weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and I was like,
Where were they heading again?
assume that
Detroit
they're
or
somewhere
something?
cool. And now like the rest of the world's caught up to it, and I'm like, that's what it looked like. Because I didn't watch it as it came out live at all, so I was like, huh, thank God for the internet.
It's like, why were they in a
What's
laser
happening?
tag arena with a giraffe?
Those aren't real
They're all
guns; they're
painted-
paintball.
Why were they?
It's
Why
Yeah.
were they painted like mimes?
fine. But yeah,
That is a really bizarre like twist on everything, though, right? Like every day nowadays, it's like real set, fake everything else,
Mhm.
I
or
think I
fake set,
wanna,
fake
like,
everything.
that would
They
be
need
a
to be
really
in the
cool
volume.
series. Is like, guess what's fake, or guess what's real. I guess either way.
Guess what's real?
Some screeners.
Patent pending. Patent pending. Patent pending.
Well, it's funny because yeah, it's
Isn't
like
it
it's like
trademark?
it's almost like the reverse. Because like
Mhm.
my girlfriend like after we watched it, she was like, "Was that giraffe real?" Like, I was like,
It was kind of real.
"Maybe
it
I
was real.
probably I don't know."
When you already watched it, it was real.
No,
The
but
giraffe was the
appar-
only thing that was real.
Apparently,
It was
later
real in
this
the
season,
game,
they did
so-
giraffe as well.
Well, yeah, they don't do what you tell them to.
They mocapped an actual giraffe for the game, so
Did they really?
no, of course not.
That's so many dots.
I believe things.
The world's most patient giraffe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
he's really earning his SAG fees on this one. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, speaking of visual effects, Avatar: The Way of Water was, by no surprise, the winner of visual effects. Segue.
Yeah.
It's okay. James Cameron didn't even bother to show up. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was
man,
really
I know a
moody
lot more about
that.
the Oscars than I thought I did.
I didn't watch
Like-
a single. I've not seen a
Oh,
single second of footage of it. Actually, I've just seen like some of the pictures and stuff.
Kimmel kind of joked. I don't know to how much there's probably some truth behind it, but that like because he wasn't nominated for best director, he didn't show up. Like he was throwing a tantrum, and I can
Yeah.
kind of believe that.
Oh, I totally believe that. Absolutely.
That does not sound like a joke at
'Cause
all. That sounds like real.
Tom
life, yeah.
Cruise didn't show up either, despite that like
People
Top
are really
Gun
mad
Maverick.
at Kimmel, eh?
They don't
I
like people
don't
like
know
I
why.
thought it
He was
fine.
very tame. Like
Yeah,
his
he was not
monologue.
offensive, and nor was he
No.
wasn't even too tame. Like he did all the make fun of Will Smith stuff. He did the make
But-
fun of James Cameron stuff. Like he wasn't. He tried to make jokes with like that girl that does good things is not an actor. He
Greta
tried to make jokes
Thunberg?
with her, and it went really badly.
Malala was because she was the only person I think was that Malala Yousafzai was there at the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah,
But James
I'm
Cameron
pretty sure-
wasn't.
We don't ask questions.
Okay, I won't.
But that was the thing too, because like even the jokes he was making about like the Will Smith incident were like so toothless. It just like it really felt like I don't know, the whole like his whole like comedic set just felt to me like don't worry, white people, like it's fine. Everyone's safe. You're gonna love this one. Don't worry.
They're either angry because they're too offensive or angry because they're too tame. You weren't mean enough.
There's no sweet
What?
spot. Yeah.
But you know what? It's like
Or because they're
it's-
women. That's the other option.
That's
That's that's the other problem too.
Or
It
'cause they're
just
Tina
it felt
Fey,
to
yeah.
me like I know, you know, it's like there was a lot of debate around that whole situation, but like that made last year's Oscars very memorable, and this one was kind of not. Like
I'm just trying to think of who even won last year, but I remember that
I don't
scene of him
know.
getting slapped. That's burned in my memory.
Yeah.
I can't
I mean,
remember anything from some actual awards.
he won Best Actor, Will Smith, for which movie was it?
King.
The
Richard?
one yeah, King
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to point this out. Did your light just go snaky again?
Yep.
I hate that thing. What did I tell you? It just does whatever the hell it wants. Did anybody notice that Brendan went blind for a second? I thought it was funny. I was like, why did the room light up? I was like, oh, he's probably looking at something on his computer. And then I realized that if
AI
he did that,
controlled.
I would see it because I'm looking at the screen. I was like, do you have a flashlight? Or you're just like, oh,
This light is not great.
no, it's not.
See, it's
not
an
great.
AI light, and it heard Dana talking shit about it, so now it's like getting revenge. This is why
I'll
you have to
get
be
you.
nice
Fuck
to your
him
attack.
and his nice complexion. I'm gonna jack it up.
I always say that. It's when my mom like yells at Alexa, I'm like, be nice to her, okay? Because when the robots take over, she's gonna remember this.
Mhm. My mom.
You gotta
named
be
her
nice to
robot
Alexa.
Benson. She feeds him often.
My son named her
But-
Leska, so it's fun.
Leska or
Leska.
Lexa?
Like he tries to say
Leska.
Alexa, but it's like comes out as Lexka. It's kind of
Oh,
Yeah.
not a story that needs to be on podcast, but I'm going to tell it anyway. We're potty training my daughter at the moment, and we set a timer so it's Alexa going off regularly. And when it goes
Nice.
off, she goes, "Alexa says yes." I'm like, well, "Do you say yes? That's more important." Or it won't go off, and she goes, "Mommy, does Alexa say yes?" I'm like, "Honey, you can go. Please stop.
Yeah.
Just go. Alexa, say yes." Oh,
the
damn
robot
it.
says I can.
My
Can't
daughter's
you
got,
make
like,
her
a
say
weird
something
robot.
like? Can't you make her say like it's potty time or something, and then she'll kind of like
Probably.
know.
I don't want her to
Should
because
do
that's
that.
horrifying.
Yeah, it's getting
She'll
a
say
bit.
it in the
That's,
middle
that's a
of the
bridge
night,
too
you
far.
know
She's
it.
co-parenting
We're
your
just start
child.
saying it in different rooms. I'll be like, "I'm sorry, I'll go right now."
It'll be 3 a.m. It's like it's party time.
Isn't it like that story that Jeff
All that burn.
Bezos got all sad because his kid was called him Alexa?
Monsters should not come out the nose, my
Wait,
friends.
Because
Jeff
his
Bezos
child-
talks to his kids. Anyways.
No, yeah. He got all mad about that,
Bum.
and
He is a
he
super
saw
villain,
the
that's what
folly
it
in
is.
his.
Just would like
That
you to
is
know the
hubris.
number of things that aren't working on this stream right now are all from one company, but we won't talk about it. Sorry, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I got a headset that's falling apart.
I mean,
Ooh.
You can't
sorry,
see it,
Jordan.
but it's
If you come
really...
back to our country, we can help that. Until then,
Yeah,
no.
you kind of just SOL until that point.
You are
Yeah,
not
and the
worth
dongle
pursuing
broke
us,
too.
my
That was
friend.
another thing that happened. But that was my fault. No, that was mostly my fault.
Still.
because the
then-
Gotta
dongle was
hate a
like
broken dongle.
this long, and it was in my computer, and I I put my computer down kind of weird, and it flipped on its side, just like.
Oh
then
man.
you just, I have no
And
idea.
then
as to whether
whilst in Brazil, it just kind of like crumbled to dust. So.
I mean,
Whilst.
and everything in Brazil is super expensive to come
But-
to tech, so US.
Oh yeah, no, it's stupid expensive. I was really like I thought I was gonna sneaky and like I was like, ooh, the dollar conversion, so I'm gonna buy like Switch games and stuff. And no,
Nope.
it's like more expensive here than it is in
Yeah,
Canada.
like a Switch game. When I was in Brazil, I was looking at like, I wonder what a PS5 game was, and it equivalent to like
No.
130 Canadian dollars.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's
Tech's
just
really
that.
expensive out here. It's
Like
dumb.
it's like
30 bucks
100
extra. Yeah.
It's almost 1,300 for a PS5 there.
Hmm.
If you work out the conversion, it's ludicrous.
I mean, if you want to use anything with your PS5 here, it's about that same cost. We're not going to talk about that right now, though.
No.
So.
We're gonna
Change
talk
of-
about
Oscars.
how. Yes, I was
Trending
quite happy
favorite.
to see Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio take home
Yeah.
best animated
He
feature. I
was
was like that.
too.
Yeah, he brought his little toys with
He's
him. or
so
his little
cute. Oh, I love when that guy talks.
Yeah, I dug it. It was
Not a lot of
it was
competition in
sweet.
that arena this year, actually.
I mean, no, it was.
You know-
sad.
I mean, people
I
love this
thought-
Puss in Boots movie, but
Yeah,
no,
Puss in
no,
Boots is really good. I kind of thought Marcel the Shell with Shoes On might take it because it is very artsy and very like
Yeah, and he
adorable.
was at a lot of award shows and stuff.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That or like maybe Turning Red might have been like the surprise upset, but
I
like
didn't think that. I did
but
not
then
think
have
that
the
for a
spark
second.
or anything else.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's offensive to Christian people. That can't win.
everything's offensive to Christian
maybe we don't go
people.
there right now, folks. Maybe we
That
don't.
episode of Rainn Wilson got all mad about that too. Who gives a shit?
Oh man, everybody's
don't-
mad about
don't
something.
know what
my
to say about
friends.
that, John.
Everybody-
We're talking about everything everywhere all at once, which coincidentally was the big winner.
Yeah,
Okay, I still
that
don't get.
cleaned up.
I don't get it. I've seen it.
What do you
It
mean?
was fun. I enjoyed it. But like,
Dana.
I don't get the hype.
It's
don't get
Just
it.
be a rock.
I don't get it.
Just be a rock.
I don't get it. My ex-husband is obsessed with it, and he's like, "I told you." I'm like, "I know it's good. I just don't understand why it's like every Oscar worthy or like just everyone talking about it.
Bad
I
year
don't-
movies. So
I don't get it." But
I
it
think- I
wasn't. I
think-
saw some really good movies this year.
Mm.
Some like
So this is the thing. Like, are they good Oscar movies though? Because like the categories.
I went to
the-
TIFF. That's literally
yeah.
all they are. You watch a movie and want to slit your wrists for the rest of the day. That's it. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm supposed
I
to say
mean,
that
I don't
on
know
the
if
internet.
that
Trigger
deserves
warning.
Best Picture.
but no, there were some really like The Whale.
Yeah.
Powerful movie.
Mhm.
Everything everywhere. Oh god, I can't even say it.
everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
I-
Cool.
Maybe as a movie, like, because I don't really know the qualifications, like what the Academy
Whoever decides to vote
votes.
for, they win.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean like how they determine which
They
movies
just
did like.
arbitrarily decide.
Okay, well then there you go. So,
No.
like, if
No,
it's all
literally-
arbitrary, then there you go.
literally,
Everything
the studios-
everywhere all at once is like the perfect
literally-
culmination of that because nothing matters and.
No, it, literally, Jordan, it is. The studio says, "I want to nominate this movie," and then everyone in the Academy says, "Sure, you can." Can kind of put
Okay.
money towards to do that, and then theoretically anyone can nominate movies that are part of the Academy, but no one does. A few people do, and everyone's like,
Mhm.
a few people in the industry are like, I'm just going to nominate my own movie. And they're like, you shouldn't do that. And some people do that. And the studios kind of hate you. And you do that because it breaks their like weird system of, we're going to give it to a woman this year. We're going to give it to they play with it to make sure.
Careful.
No, it literally is. They do it to kind of promote people so they want to work more. That is why the Oscars
Mhm.
started. And that's why it exists. It is
Well, plus now
not-
they're trying to like appeal to common audiences because they realize they've lost touch with common people, and that's
Yeah.
why you see the likes of that's why like the categories are like 10 movies deep for
Yeah.
Best Picture now. Like Top Gun
Mhm.
Maverick, was that really Best Picture potential?
No.
Was it a popcorn flick? I'm sure it was great for the popcorn audience, but like was it really the Best Picture of the year Oscar worthy?
No.
Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, I
No.
don't think Avatar was either. So
No.
the answer is the Academy or the people in the industry decide what gets nominated and what doesn't. And some years they're like, we want to give it to this thing. And then sometimes they go rogue and something random wins. But
Yeah. I don't
There you
know.
go, Dana.
exception,
Nothing
yeah.
matters. Everything is chaos.
Well, that much I knew already, but yeah, I just
I
like I
would.
said, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a lot of fun, but like to me, it was the equivalent of like a Fast and Furious movie. It was great. It was entertaining. It was exciting. It looked really good, really good, good. Or
Good.
Groot,
Like Groot.
perhaps.
Great and good.
Like, but no different than a
Groot.
Marvel movie, and they're
Yeah.
not nominated for that for the kind of stuff these are nominated for. I don't know.
Mhm.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody's probably gonna shoot me for saying things, but whatever.
Why shoot you?
I mean, I don't fully agree with that sentiment, but
That you being
like
which one?
that it was like kind of like a like just as fun as a Marvel movie. Like, because I've seen 2 Marvel movies this year, and both of them just like
I mean, modern
Okay,
Marvel.
Made
those are
me
the 2
sleepy.
you've seen, though. There's like 30 Marvel movies, and there are quite a
I've
few that
sl-
are very
I
good.
Dana, I've watched
I know, but
pretty
your
much all
argument
of
was
them.
I saw 2 this year. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
2
I
like
haven't
I've
seen any
already
in 3
seen
years.
I've already seen 2 this year, and both of them made me sleepy. Like, they are the like most like paint by they like, and that's not the fault of the movies. That's just like the Marvel
But
system
they
now. Like,
weren't
they've
when it
gotten
started,
so
and they weren't nominated back then either. So
well.
Black
Yeah,
Panther did not
yeah,
win.
but actually, Black Panther did win an Oscar, so that
yeah,
it can take that home, take
and
that
it's
to the
not the
bank.
first one. I think it's the third one for Black Panther.
And if you and
But
there
I'm
was,
talking Best Picture.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man animated thing, Into the Spider-Verse won Best Animated, I think.
But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it did.
rightfully so.
Yeah, I
But
would
like,
say
yeah,
so.
like even that's like MCU adjacent. Like it's not, or the Marvel
Yeah.
adjacent. Like it's not the MCU bucket.
I don't. Yeah, I can't think of anything in the MCU that has won any major awards.
And I mean,
No.
like that
Other
being
than-
said, as a big Marvel fan, I don't think anything really deserves it either. But
I
But
would,
that's
I
my,
would,
my whole argument is why.
I
well, and
Why-
this
would
is the
have.
why
thing, right?
does
Like who's this is the Oscars has become this like really loose thing to me. Like I don't even associate it with it. Like I'm looking at the list of nominees. I've barely seen anything on here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Except for like Glass Onion,
That was fun.
which should have been nominated more, I think, but that's a
I
different
think
story.
it was fine. I don't think that one was Oscar worthy. I think it was a fun little movie, but I don't think it was like a revolution.
But apparently, none of us know what Oscar worthy means. It's
No,
very
I know.
confusing.
I argue that no one knows what it means anymore. Now it's just like an invitation of itself.
I think
Yeah.
the whale made sense. I think the whale was a solid choice. I think that one was good.
From what I understand, from what you guys said about it after the TIFF screening, it was like he was a great performance in a unfun, hard to watch movie.
100%. It was
But
very
that's
hard
what-
to watch.
That's what a
What's
lot of people said
deemed
too.
Oscar worthy, is it not? Like Women Talking was a really good movie, and it was
It won.
very it
It was
it won
nominated
an
for Best
award.
Picture.
Yes, I
I
am
think
aware.
best director.
No, I think it might have been a screenplay. But anyway, none of the big awards, which is my point.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Best Writing
Okay.
or for adapted screenplay.
And again, that's a very niche section of
Yeah,
you know what
Best
I mean?
Writing for
Yeah.
original screenplay was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mhm.
What?
And I think
Although
that's
that was like levels deep, so I could see that.
that's
Yeah.
what I think that was my
production quality.
like point that I was getting to, was that like Everything Everywhere All at Once for me like checked a lot of boxes, because like it would, like you said, it was fun to watch, but it also had a lot of depth, it had a lot of emotion, it had a lot of like good turns. Like it didn't feel as like by the book as like your typical like Marvel movie, which is just like good guys find a thing, meet bad guy beats them for a bit, then they find
That's
that
fair.
the friendship was there all along and they win.
From what I understand, there was quite the story, the production behind it too. Like they filmed this really ambitious movie in like a really short time and a really tight budget too. So
And
I
they
guess
got
that's
like
an accomplishment
stopped for a while too because of COVID.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just looking back at the list of like previous Oscar Best Picture winners, and like the last thing on this list that I've seen before it was nominated or before it won was like the King's Speech in the 2010. Like everything else
Wow.
that's won since then has just been kind of like water off my back, like things that don't register for my personal taste that much. Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna point this out. 2 things. Number 1, Brendan was looking up the list, not being a dick just now. And number 2, I think his light just fucked up again. Can we make this a drinking game, please? My day
Every
will be so
time.
much better.
Don't.
Shots,
Why
shots,
does it keep
shots,
doing
shots,
that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just leave it there then? That's clearly where it wants to be.
Yeah, Spotlight, Birdman.
Going further
Very
back,
good.
like Lord of the
Argo.
Rings, like Return of the King one eventually, and like that was like a thing for the entire project,
Things
and
I
that made
didn't like.
sense.
I didn't like the Return of the King as much as I liked like the first. So
That one very much won because of
Really?
the other two, right? Like it didn't win
Yeah.
so much on its own individual merits. It was like the Lord of the Rings won Best Picture. It wasn't
Yeah.
the Return of the
Yeah.
King. It was like the
the,
entire
the
project.
first one was good. The second one was boring as hell.
Oh, the second one's my
Yeah.
favorite.
See,
But, like,
I
it
kind
went
of,
on a walk
I've,
for a while.
I kind of agree with Brendan. I think I love Fellowship because like when it came out, it was so monumentously huge that like we watched it like 1,000 times. But I do kind of think the one I liked the most was Return of the King.
Hmm.
It
It does
felt
have
like
all the
it had the most
culminations and
weight.
the resolutions. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
second, for me, the second felt very. It just kind of abrupt. Like we're gonna have to end it somewhere, so it's randomly
I-
here.
Yeah, but that's I feel like that's just like it is a very good movie. Like I still
I saw that
watch
movie.
it. and-
I saw the second movie 4 times in theaters because I had 4 different groups of friends. They're like, we want to see the movie. I'm like, cool. Yep, let's go again.
Great.
Why not?
I'm impressed you had that many friends.
Yeah.
You don't
But
leave
you
that
know what?
Shots
I
fired.
think that's just like by the nature of
right.
it being like the second in a trilogy, so like it has to kind of be that thing where like a lot of the like plot has to do a lot of heavy lifting and not a lot of stuff really happens because like the
And
first
but
one.
the thing is, it sets up this big battle at Helm's Deep. I'm like, I don't. Sure, this battle's supposed to be a real kind of a footnote. Sure, why not? Let's go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, like even looking at it, like again at a list of best pictures, like I feel like it's been like over a decade since the winner has become like a real part of the
Mhm.
zeitgeist or like a lasting cultural impression.
I think
Because
Yeah.
like
everything.
before
2000.
that you had like The Hurt Locker, Slumdog Millionaire, The Departed, Crash, the Baby. Going even further
hate-
back, like
To be fair,
You're
I hate-
yelling.
Sorry,
Holy. Like startling me. You're very excited.
I hate most of the Oscar winners of Best Picture. Like, I don't
Mhm.
like Crash. It's a bad movie. It's objectively a bad movie. Hurt Locker's fine, but who goes back?
No
to watch
Country
the
for
Hurt
Old Men,
Locker?
Brendan.
That's good.
but I mean, like even
That's a
like
really good
setting aside
movie.
like personal feelings about the things, like most of these movies have made some kind of cultural impact and like are still
Yeah.
memorable,
Crash
but like
didn't.
most of the stuff of the last 10 years
Which Crash?
Yeah.
are
just
you talking
hasn't
about?
really
I-
had a big impact.
We're talking about the white people solve racism movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. To be fair,
But
when
that- but
that
again,
came out,
that-
I liked it, but I was very young and thought it was deep, and I was deep.
That movie is pure like Oscar bait. That movie
Yeah.
like screams at the
every
top of
Oscar
its
ever.
lungs and says nothing. But that's like
as soon
like
as you throw a fat suit on someone or they lose 10,000 pounds, that is also Oscar bait. So
I'm like looking at 2012. I didn't realize Django Unchained was nominated for Best Picture and it lost to Argo. Like I liked Argo, but I think Django Unchained should have
Argo's
taken it.
fine.
Django's too
That movie
much
fucking
for
rocks.
that's too much for the Academy to choose that one.
That's a movie.
Black men killing slavers? We can't have that.
So it's a little too sensational and Tarantino-ish for that. There's no way Tarantino could
Has
win at the
Tarantino ever
Oscars.
won an Oscar?
I don't
don't-
think he's ever won a Best Picture. No.
No, I don't think so.
I thought he won something for Pulp Fiction, but
see, and again, that's a movie that I would put not because they're similar in any way, but in the same kind of category as Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
and
they're B-
I
they're
wouldn't say
B-movies.
Pulp Fiction should win an Oscar either.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is a B movie. It just happens to be a B movie that caught on with the zeitgeist. That's
yeah,
it.
and that there's like one. Now there's a couple big people in it, but
Jamie Lee Curtis is the biggest actor in that movie, I think.
and the other one.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
But she does TV and stuff. She's a character actor most of
That
the time.
doesn't mean that she's not a big actor.
That was kind of the
But
big,
you know
the big
what?
story too.
But-
Like the redemption stories for all for so many of the winners, like Michelle Yeoh
Yeah.
and
Oh.
Brendan
I
Fraser.
don't. I think she's a good actress. I just think the Academy has put her, or the studios have put her into character actor roles a lot because
Yeah, and I
That's
like
what
I
they
think that's
always do.
like kind of
I'm gonna need you to
Like-
define character actor then to me.
usually character actor.
they cast her
usually-
as the Asian.
I mean, I wasn't going to say no. I don't think that. They usually cast her. They play off the mannerisms she has, so she'll be the. In
So
Star
she plays
Trek-
herself.
Yeah, often. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Gilbert Gottfried would be considered a character actor. Like Russell's J.K. Simmons would be a character actor. They're not usually like they don't transcend their roles usually. They sometimes do, but
They play the same kind of character. I mean, I would call that more typecast. When you say character actor, I think of like, I don't know. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I get it.
Character actor's more positive.
Yeah.
Typecast
Yeah.
is more when you're like saying, "Oh, they're so typecast," or
Mhm.
yeah,
That's just okay. So that's just the nice way of saying it. Then gotcha.
yeah.
caught
It's all
up
spin,
now.
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, because even like like it's like you know, in that same vein, right? Like Ke Huy Quan like was kind of the same thing. Like when he started, like he was in Goonies as
Yeah.
the genius Asian kid. When he was in Indiana Jones, he was, you know, the
Mm.
little Asian boy sidekick. Like he was very like he was being typecast in a lot of ways, and then yeah,
Was
like
it?
he kind of disappeared.
He wasn't it the they were talking about how if this movie didn't do well, he was basically broke.
Yeah, more or less. He hadn't acted. He was kind of saying like he hadn't acted in so long, like, and he just like wasn't booking parts, like,
If you didn't
because
see it, you should go watch his speech.
It was good.
yeah,
Very-
it was
No, it
beautiful.
sucked. Go watch it.
Well, he was at like
No,
Niagara,
oh my eyes
Niagara
out.
Falls Comic Con a few years ago too. I
Yeah.
think that they posted
And,
like
like-
congrats.
Like I said, you can tell how like not excited I am about this movie winning anything. I was sobbing during his speech. Like I was ugly girl crying. It was not. I was like, I was so happy for him. It's such a beautiful story. Ugh.
He won Best Supporting.
Jamie
Yeah.
Lee
Yep.
Curtis's speech too.
She-
She
yeah,
like,
Didn't she?
it's her first Oscar.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And she
Yep.
properly used the proper pronouns for her daughter.
well, she was
What
also
are
like
you-
referring. No, she
Yes.
was referring to the Oscar in like non-binary pronouns, like out of respect for her daughter who is
That's it, that's it.
transgender.
I'm so confused. The Oscar?
Yeah, because the Oscar's shaped and styled like a man and
It's
also
androgynous.
named after a
Why would
man.
you say Oscar? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, her speech was really good, and I guess both of her parents are gone now.
That's sad.
And I mean, dude, she's like 70. It'd
I-
be
I
a
s-
little weird if they weren't. No,
Yeah,
you
it's-
might be like
it's-
95 years old and tell me you're not sad.
Two things
Every
could be
person
true
I've
at once,
ever met
Dana.
that's that age is like, please God, let me go. My
Oh,
mom
she's
is already
64,
like, nah,
huh.
I'm done. But even still, like,
No, I thought she was
super
older than 64.
sad. That's pretty like fuck.
No, she's rocking it.
She's
Yeah,
loving
that's
it.
great. You're having a
I was
renaissance
down
now. It's
one
great.
parent, and I was down that 12 years ago. So good for her that her parents lived as long as they did. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, both of her parents were Oscar winners.
Okay.
So she was like, "We won an
Mhm.
Oscar," and it was like a nice thing. And I cried again because that's what I do as a
Yeah.
human being. I cry or I yell. There's no in between.
That's fair.
It's a thing that happens.
There you go.
But I definitely think we can probably all agree to that, like the big thing was Brendan Fraser winning Best Actor.
I think it's great to see it. Brendan
That's
Fraser
one thing I
back.
didn't see, Jordan.
that guy has been like having just like a career renaissance, and it's so like it's one of those things that it's like, you know, those little flickers of a moment where people are genuinely like good.
I'm gonna. I think it's too early to say if he's having a career at Renaissance. He's got a good movie, and he was going to be in another. He was in the Batgirl movie,
Batgirl, yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna be the villain in Batgirl.
Yeah. but I don't know any major movies that are coming up that he's in as well.
This may have just been
No,
his redeeming movie, and he may be done.
but that's kind of my point, is like the fact that he blew up in such a big way back in
Yeah.
like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know,
That's
because
the big
of
joke is the Mummy is every bisexual sexual awakening,
Yeah.
which is 100% accurate.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
Everyone
he
in
w-
the Mummy is my sexual orientation. Like, that's
Plus,
it.
side note, he was in Crash.
Was
Yeah.
he really?
Yep.
Speaking of Crash, yeah.
He has one thing that's still out. I guess it's a cartoon. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Oh, he's
What?
also, I think
No, he's in DC Doom Patrol.
Yeah, the
Oh, he's
Doom
the
Patrol.
Doom-
He's the big robot guy.
Oh, cool.
But he's been in it. He's in it for like 40 episodes. He's been.
Oh, yeah,
in
he's
it.
been
It started
the
in
start.
2019. I've never heard of this before.
Oh yeah, no.
It's one of the ones on HBO Max, I think. No, that's one of the weird ones that.
I've never heard of this
It-
before, but
I'm pretty
it's
sure
going on, like,
it was on
4
the
years.
CW. I think like it was
Okay.
on cable.
Now it's HBO
No,
Max though.
but what I mean was that like he, you know, Brendan Fraser was such a huge star, and then like
Matt Bomber?
because
I'm not okay.
because you know he was trying to like shine a light on his like own sexual harassment, he got just blocked out of Hollywood for, so they just blacklisted him for the longest time, right? So the fact
Who's
that
Matt
like
Bomber?
he's been able to have such a triumphant return, and to see that like
Go,
like
I know.
fans and general audiences are so happy to see him back, like, and they're welcoming him back
Agreed.
with open arms, like it really
But
is just such a genuine moment in this kind of like film history.
yeah, no, it's brutal. Like everything I've seen him at, and he's just so genuine and so grateful.
Yeah.
Like he's not like, yeah, fuck you guys, I was right, or
And
cool,
and
I'm important again. He's just grateful. On that
you
note,
see
though,
him.
what is your Brendan Fraser movie? Like, if you
My
remember
Brendan Fraser movie.
Fraser, what do you remember? Like off the top of your head? Not like
I'm-
in this
Mummy,
movie, just when you think Brendan Fraser,
Dudley
you
Do
think
Right, George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle for me.
I have an exception to this question because it's not a movie. It's his guest turns on Scrubs.
Oh yeah, no, I'll give you that too.
Yeah.
Also, freaking
Um,
Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
Airheads. Oh, Airheads was such a good movie.
Yes. Okay, but just like
Such
I
a
need
blast.
to, I didn't get to get this out of. Did it happen again? I didn't get to get this out of my system. How did I not know about this show? I don't think anybody understands the amount of in love I am with Matt Bomber, who has been in 40 episodes of this show. Alan Tudyk, 15 episodes of this show. Mark Shepard, 11 episodes of this. Like, what the hell?
I heard
Doom
it's really
Patrol?
good. Yeah, no, I've heard it's good.
That corner of the
episodes
DC
in.
television universe has totally been neglected. Like no one talks about this show, but it's
That's not the
ongoing.
Arrowverse. That's not the
Diane,
Arrowverse.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
her name wrong. Diane Guerrero, also adore her, and she's been on what?
It was one of the side things that's not the Arrowverse, but it's also not part of the regular. It's weird.
Well, it's yeah, but like it wasn't a part of like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl.
I don't think it was
any of
CW.
that.
I don't think it was CW.
No, it had nothing to do with those shows. I would know it if it did because I watched those shows religiously. Like what? I need to go watch this probably very bad show. I don't know.
Apparently, it's good. I've heard good things about it. I just never watched it because I don't really care about superheroes.
Fair.
I have a new binge.
Yeah, fair.
I
40
have a new
episode binge, apparently.
I do.
Apparently.
That's very satisfying for me.
It's
I
4
never have to
seasons?
leave my
Yeah,
house again.
it's kind of strange too because like if you look at Brendan Fraser's like resume, he hasn't had a year like off. Like he has a credit every
Yeah, like,
year
why are we
since
all talking
forever.
about it like he hasn't been doing shit?
Like he hasn't been doing great stuff the past few like 10 years. Give
I've
it
seen
that.
show
Like
the
it's a
last
lot of
4
small
years
stuff,
is
but
pretty
Yeah.
like not common anymore. Like
No.
Netflix is like one and done for everything.
because like in 2010 he had like a movie with Harrison Ford, and then he did that furry vengeance movie, and then that kind of fell off the face of the earth. But he's been going.
What?
I
Like
don't
he's
know what you just
been
said.
Furry Vengeance?
That's what I heard too.
Furry
or
Vengeance.
Yeah, they were
You don't
just
remember the
2010.
crappy commercials for that, where all the animals are
No.
attacking him?
Clearly, I
No,
repressed whatever you're
don't.
talking about. Okay, well, I'm gonna watch this stupid show. Oh no, Alan Tudyk's probably the guy with the mask on his face, isn't he? God damn it. No, that's Matt Bomber. I do know this show.
Yeah, I
Oh, wow,
I
that did
genuinely
exist, the
kind of
movie.
I'm on a roller coaster.
Journey
right
of the
now.
Journey to the Center of the Earth, I think, is the last one I genuinely remember. And oh yeah, and the Mummy too, and the Dragon Emperor with Jet Li. That was, yeah, I kind of remember that. I don't think I ever watched that one.
Okay, so this show, this Doom Patrol show, I remember. I'm still there. I remember seeing Matt Bomber in a superhero show, or I don't even know if I remembered it was a superhero show, but I remember seeing Matt Bomber, and then I remember seeing his character, which is completely covered up. And I don't know if you guys know who Matt Bomber is.
Very attractive man.
He is a beautiful, like nobody should hide that man's face ever. Ever. Like
Yeah,
when he
they hide
dies,
Pedro
he should be
Pascal's show
preserved
or
and
face of
put
the
in
week.
it. No. There's a difference between Pedro Pascal is attractive for a whole bunch of reasons. He's not pretty. This man is pretty.
Is he the guy that's like literally looks like the Invisible Man?
I don't know.
Like wrapped in bandages?
Oh, yeah, that's the character. See how upset I am now?
You don't see his face at all. Or his abs. Why are his abs?
Okay, well, I don't care about his abs. I watched him in, oh, Frank, what's that show called? It's like a dumb.
White collar? No, white collar.
Yeah, white collar. And then they just ended that on me.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, God, I love my bummer. Okay, anyway, we can go back to the Oscars if you guys want now. I'm fine.
I mean,
I think we're done.
I
Maybe like
I just want to know like when's Pauly Shore's turn. I mean, like when's the full Encino Man revival?
No, I
Yeah,
think Pauly Shore's-
Brendan Fraser had his turn around. When's Pauly Shore's turn?
Jimmy Kimmel made that joke too.
Offensive somewhere, no?
Didn't he have an entire movie about Where's Pauly Shore? That's
Actually, yeah, they did. Yeah, that was kind of a fun
Like a-
little documentary.
It was
Yeah.
a documentary. It was a
Well, I
straight-
mean, a mockumentary or whatever. But like, yeah,
like,
they.
It's just him
Did you
trying
not
to get back in
see
Hollywood.
the sleeper hit that was Pinocchio with the skiddy 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 skiddy?
Oh, the third Pinocchio movie that came out last year, like the Russian overdub. Yeah,
The
Yeah.
overdub?
Skiddy 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 skiddy.
I only heard about that through honest trailers, and I'm
Oh, God.
kind of sad that I learned that
Yeah.
that existed. But
No, I watched
Anyways.
Nostalgia Critic talk about it, and it was perfect.
I don't watch.
Pauly Shore also
Nostalgia
has been
Critic.
acting. Oh my, there's no breaks on his resume either.
Really?
That's yeah.
Trying to be all cartoons. You're
Hey,
like,
the
"Hey,
guy's gotta
okay."
eat.
He must have made enough money in the 90s.
Turns out he's just like a regular on Barney now for some reason.
Oh my god, he was in the Limp Bizkit music video. I forgot about that. This is a dark hole we've gone down.
Yeah, let's get off this.
Let's get off.
Let's get
So
off.
we were talking about how the Oscars were kind of underwhelming for most of us, and how we hadn't seen a lot of stuff in it. But let's shift towards something that's a little more exciting. Like movies are coming up later in 2023 that we're looking forward to.
Cool.
I mean,
I'm
for
really
starters,
excited
I'm
about
pretty
it.
excited about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Actually, seeing that the reviews are
I
actually positive.
Don't even want to talk
Mhm.
about it. I hate everybody.
Why?
You-
Why? Why
You of
now?
all people should know why. Okay,
Sorry.
so the Dungeons
What
and
did we
Dragons
do?
movie that our lovely Zuby reviewed and is on our thing, Brendan was supposed to review, and I was supposed to go with him, but I got like food poisoning yesterday, and I was violently ill all day to the point where I was in tears, and I was like, "But I want to go to the movie. Maybe it'll be better in like a half hour." Brendan's like,
Ugh.
I don't think so."
Yeah.
I had to go pick up my daughter from daycare. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. It's like, if I can't make it around the corner to daycare, I probably cannot go to Toronto. My 8-year-old looked at me and went, "Mom, you can't go to the movie." But I wanna.
Okay, but it's not the
So-
movie's fault though.
I'm
I
sad.
thought something had pissed you off about the movie itself.
No, I just really wanted to see
Okay,
it, and now
that's
I know
fair,
I won't 'cause
but-
I don't go to the movies. I won't see it till it comes out. I don't
Is
know.
there a Transformers movie coming?
Yes.
Power is primal.
Oh, the Beast Wars thing, right? Or is that a
Yes.
series?
I
Yeah.
No, it's
don't
a-
know.
Think it's a movie. I think.
Yeah,
It's one of
that's
the movies, so it is.
Yeah.
Science.
Also, there's like a new Boogeyman movie. Didn't that already get remade and it was bad?
That
Did
sounds
you
about
say
right.
Boogeyman?
Yes,
He did
Boogeyman.
say it like that. That did happen.
Boogeyman.
Don't ask him to say pasta or Mario. It won't go well. Anyway.
Well, now I have to.
Hey, go eat your fucking pasta.
The People's Exorcist. There's a lot of weird movies coming out this year.
Okay. But we're talking about the good ones. And honestly,
Well, the
Evil
things
Dead.
we're excited for. If you're excited for
Yeah.
bad movies, that's your
did you say
prerogative.
Evil Dead?
Yeah, the
Didn't
new Evil Dead
Didn't that
Rises.
already happen?
No, Evil Dead Rise. It's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one here.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I'm personally
Craven
most
the
excited
Hunter?
for next of all the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'm surprised to say that I'm excited about it, but I
I
legitimately
really didn't know crabs.
You
were
know
bad.
what,
am hopeful
Chris,
for it.
I'm right there with you because every new trailer, I get excited and it's like immediately followed with just please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck.
Please.
Yeah,
It's
like
fine.
it's
Please don't
started,
suck.
Like all this build
Like,
up. I
Everything except Chris Pratt so far has looked
I
great.
mean, I don't. Mario.
Mario.
I don't
Mario.
really care what he sounds like. So whatever.
Even
Sure.
that though, if we didn't
Yeah.
know who Chris Pratt was, and they didn't like, if
No,
we
he's-
didn't
it
have
sounds
Chris
like
Pratt,
It sounds like Chris Pratt.
but if we didn't know who he was, and that happened, like I don't
Like-
think we'd care as
No,
much.
probably not.
I
No,
don't think we'd be
because
analyzing it as much as as soon as somebody
here's-
said Chris Pratt Mario, we all went fuck that.
No,
And that was the end of
That's
it.
fair.
here's where we diverge because every other person that they cast so far that we've heard hasn't really been putting on a voice but hasn't really needed to. Like Jack Black's voice does kind of suit Bowser. Seth Rogen, like you
Yeah.
people were making jokes about that in like
So while you're saying that, what is Mario supposed to
2010.
sound like? What does he have to sound
A
like to
racist
you?
stereotype.
Yeah,
There
that's the
you
one
No, but
thing.
just better. Like
No, that's what you're looking for. You're
better
mad
than
that he
Chris
doesn't sound like a
Pratt
little round
not
Italian
even
man.
trying.
Not even
And you
trying
know
to
what?
put on an
I
Italian
s-
accent. I mean, if that's the problem, they should have put a like proper Italian actor, and then it wouldn't be offensive. But they didn't
I
do
said
that.
it once and I'll say it again. As an Italian, we wouldn't care if he put
We
on an
wouldn't
Italian accent. It would have been
Well,
fine.
No,
Yeah.
all of us poor, sad, pale white folk would get angry for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. You're allowed to, and I appreciate that you would. But as an Italian, I'm telling
Hey,
you, us
I know
Italians
6%
wouldn't have cared.
Italian. Suck it. 6%.
But like this is what I mean. Like Charlie Day like does have a voice that does kind of suit Luigi. Like he doesn't really need to even if he's not putting on the Italian accent, his voice does kind of suit. Like you can hear that like Luigi-ness in him. But like
I'm gonna
Chris
tell
Pratt
you.
just being like, "Hey, I am the Mario." Like it doesn't sound good.
So
Wahoo!
character actors, as we're speaking,
Yeah, his
would be
very
Charlie Day.
unenthusiastic wahoo.
Yes,
Which I think they
100%.
changed in
Charlie
the
Day's correct
second,
right
the
now.
third trailer. I think they
It sounded like they
updated that.
did.
Yeah,
Anyways, go on, Dana.
there's no world in which you can convince me that you're not just mad because Mario doesn't sound super Italian.
I mean, a little bit. I do kind of wish that it could have just been Charles Martinet.
But that is also offensive because he is putting a voice, is a normal voice.
Yeah,
is
so
not
what you
with-
so again,
Been
you're
the
so
voice
upset
of Mario,
because
and no one's given a shit for 20-something years.
because
Well,
it's-
that's because he
Well,
only
it's
says like
probably-
one or two things at a time, right? If it was to have
it would
actual
be an
dialogue,
entire
like
movie
No, even
of a character. Like bring on Jeff fucking Dunham.
even in
no,
even
silence,
even
Bowser, I
in-
kill you. Yeah.
because you know why? Because I genuinely loved in the Mario and Luigi RPG games how they did this kind of like pasta gibberish with him, like Luigi and Mario would talk to each other and they'd literally be like Mario, like they would just like
Yeah,
make up
it's
gibberish
offensive.
and it was so adorable.
I mean, again, that works for covering the set of a dialogue in a game, though. But like, if you're having like a full-on
Wait,
conversation,
let's swap two
But-
things out here, Jordan.
What?
If that were two Asian characters, that would be racist, correct?
horribly. racist.
yeah, that would be a real bad look.
You're just Italian, so you're like, it's fine. I said it's fine, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Which
but
is good.
that's the
I'm
thing. That's the
glad you're
great thing
Italian
about
in doing that and not something else.
that's the
But
great thing
that-
about being Italian is that we're like white facing, so we
Yeah,
get
we're
all the
taking
privilege of
on
white
Mario.
privilege.
To put a pin on it, though,
We get all the white
Does it
privilege.
make sense? Like, that's
The-
why. If we had
the-
like, no.
It's
There's
to
it's
put a
it's
pin
not-
in it.
Like,
Let me,
the way
You know what?
Let me
It's-
just put this to bed, because we're going in some dark corners here.
yeah.
My personal theory is that like I'm pretty sure it's gonna just be Chris Pratt sounding okay, and everything around him is gonna be
He's
great,
Star
and
Wars.
that's
Mhm.
I'm fine with that. Like Mario was
Yeah,
sort of a flat character anyway, so if Chris Pratt has a flat voice, then whatever.
I was just going to mention.
That's kind of. Sorry, Brendan. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, there were a few years there where Chris Pratt was literally in everything.
Yeah.
This year, it's just Guardians and Mario, from what I'm seeing.
I mean, he's also going to be Garfield if that counts for anything.
Oh God, I keep forgetting that exists, and every so often I get reminded, and it makes me sad.
He gets to
Oh.
be everything.
It's
See?
everything
Oh
all
yeah.
at
See?
once.
I'd assume that's the last stage for actors before
Okay,
they
I
get
will say
completely
though,
blackballed.
Chris Pratt has done. I mean, I'm not going to say quite a bit because when you look at a voice actor, they've done plenty more. But like, he's done a whole bunch of Lego. He did Onward. He's played like 47 Lego characters. Holy crap! Like he's done some voice acting. He was in Batman, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. I don't
Yeah,
know
sure.
what that is.
That's a Cartoon Network show.
Like he's been in some stuff, so it's not like he's unknown to voice acting. He's not just some guy that walked in off the street.
Yeah.
And I have to say, as I personally kind of find Chris Pratt annoying and obnoxious, I haven't seen anything where I've hated him. He's been in
Uh,
some bad shit, but I've not been like, fuck that guy, he's terrible.
The
It's kind of a
weird-
grown worthy thing, maybe.
The
and,
one,
yeah.
the one where he's like a CIA op type person. It's on Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one's not.
What about the one where he's in space with Jennifer Lawrence and
Yeah,
he's
that
like
one's
an
creepy.
actual monster?
I was just gonna think about that. Yeah, like, I enjoyed that movie, but like I saw a take about it
He's an
recently where it's
actual
like it should have been a
predator.
horror movie. Should have
Yeah.
been a horror movie where like she realized, where it's from her perspective, and she realizes he woke her up because she's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that would have been a better movie, actually.
That's not a good movie. The one where he plays like a CIA op, but that's like super. How dare the woke culture get him? That's not great.
The Terminal List, is that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I haven't seen that, so
Yeah.
that's not on my list. But
That one's not
I-
great.
I think
I will
I-
say the biggest thing
kind
that
of-
bugs me about him in the Mario preview so far is that it just sounds like his Lego Movie character. Like it's just that
Yeah, he's just not
generic
trying.
thing.
That's-
But I mean, it's
I-
like I
But
said,
how
Mario's
many
kind of a
voice
flat character
actors
anyways,
just
right?
use their own voice.
you know what?
We're all wanting like everyone from The Simpsons that plays 74 different characters in one thing. I'm not mad about somebody using their own voice to voice a character.
Plus, I mean, like they got Carrie
Be
Payton
a
there to
voice.
play the Penguin King, and that's a great choice. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough talent on this cast around him. It's
I
fine.
get why they cast him because
Because he's the
it's
biggest actor at that time. And
it's,
that,
it's
when they
yeah,
hired him.
it's Chris Pratt. Like,
And guess who hasn't stopped talking about it?
but
Every
I
moment.
think I'm
It's
about
got them a lot of buzz. I'll give it that. Yeah, it's
I mean, I
I'm
think
about
there's
where Chris is on this, where like it's probably gonna be fine. Like Nintendo's been really hands on with it, and
I mean, it's an Illumination movie. It's going to be innocuous. It's going to
Well,
be fine.
but that's what I mean. But like as far as it being an Illumination movie, like it's Illumination, but Nintendo has like really been like working
But I'm
alongside them
gonna
to make
throw it
sure
out
it's
there, Jordan. Nintendo storylines in most of its games aren't great. Zelda,
but it doesn't have to
Zelda,
be.
like. No, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be deep. It's just gonna be like there's a bunch of excitement.
I'm not gonna lie. So I got a little territorial because my son's aunt messaged me and was like, "I'm taking him and all these other children that are related to me to see Mario for all their birthdays." I was like, "You are? I mean, thanks for letting me know. I
Yeah.
guess didn't ask." And then I was like, "Oh wait, I don't have to go see that fucking movie now." And it was a happy moment for me. So
see,
that's
like
how I feel.
I'm the opposite there, where it's like I know, like I'm divided, where it's like I know this part of me is going to take my kids and we're gonna have fun because they're gonna enjoy it no
Mm.
matter what. I think
Is your
based on the
son old enough
previews.
for the
Mhm.
movies yet? Like, will he sit through that?
It's gonna be
My
a
daughter-
test, but I think he's gonna be so wrapped like
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
experience that I think it's gonna hook him. Could be
If you're
disaster.
willing
We'll
to
see.
Give enough candy that will keep him in one spot. It's the only way I can get my son. to
There's a
watch movies.
balancing point with the candy, right? Because you get too much and he's spun. It's just got to
but
keep the
so long
focus.
as he has something
Yeah.
to put in his mouth, he will stay. That's the
Anyways, like
rule.
I have a feeling it's going to be a great time just for that, and they're going to enjoy it. They're going to love
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have that guaranteed satisfaction. The rest is kind of just extraneous for me. So I have the
And
opposite
think
situation.
of how great that moment's going to be for you because I know how huge your son is into Bowser. I know how huge you
Mhm.
are into video games and Mario. So your son's first movie is going to be something huge to both of you. So
Exactly,
Chris
that's pretty
Pratt
cool.
won't fuck it up.
Yeah.
I won't
Do
notice
it
probably. I'll be
barely.
so focused on him and the enjoyment
Yeah, that's
vicariously.
exciting.
So,
Mhm.
anyways, what else is
Aw.
coming out in 2023 besides
I
Mario?
actually
That's not the
had
only
quite a
thing.
few things. You guys went to Mario, and I was like, everything else on this list on the top, I'm excited for except Mario. That's not true. Guardians is the
Jones?
first thing that pops up. I'm like, okay, cool. That's probably fine. Wonka and Barbie.
Yeah, those exist.
Barbie
Wonka actually gonna
probably
come
is
out
gonna
this
be a
year?
blast.
I don't even know how to feel about Barbie because I don't think I've ever seen anything either of them are in that I've been like, please God no.
Barbie was one of
But
those
then
things
again,
where
I
it's
love
like, why are they
Barbie.
making a Barbie movie? And then that first preview dropped, and I realized,
And
oh,
now
this
you're
could
like,
actually be kind of subversive and kind of fun.
What happens?
This
They
could
made a
actually be
Barbie
something.
movie.
And Wonka, I don't know. I've been hearing about Wonka for like 12 years now, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
think-
he's aged out of this role now.
Who's that? Who's gonna be in there?
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Yeah.
He's getting old now. I don't know.
I think he's like 25. I don't know.
Yeah, but how long have you been hearing
That's
about
Hollywood
this movie?
old.
So he was 8 when they cast him. I don't know.
He's still in Dune. He's fine.
I don't
Yeah, which
Dune
is
2 was supposed
also
to be on the show
coming
too,
out.
right?
I mean,
like.
who knows? That movie's that entire franchise since the HBO takeover has been kind of weird. Because I think
There's a few things on the list of movies coming out this year where it's like I'm not sure that's actually happening, like Aquaman, Wonka, Dune,
Yeah, Aquaman's kind of
anything
being made.
at
I don't
Marvel,
know.
Sony.
Oh, the Marvel.
Like,
Wasn't
crazy.
wasn't
Another
Aquaman one of
Hunger
those
Games?
What?
The Hunger
Ballad of-
Games? The Ballad
Hungerer
of Songbirds,
games?
Oh yeah, the prequel book that they're adapting into a movie. Yeah,
which looks like a young Slim Shady is covering. I'm gonna need
That's
somebody to go
weird.
find this picture because
Hunger
Eminem,
Games
that's you?
prequel.
Another
Thirst
Equalizer
games.
movie?
can we just make original movies, please? Like that's all
The
I
new,
want.
the new Ninja Turtles looks pretty damn good.
It does. look
yeah,
good.
that one's
really
that's
excited
interesting
about
to
that.
me.
I must.
I
just
I,
not
I was trying to
get
figure out
it.
what the tone, like what the audience is for that
To
one,
me,
because
it
like
looked
It's
the
kids.
art, the art style for me looked kind of like the Spider-Verse type stuff, where
Nightmares?
it's like kind of invoking that kind of painterly CGI look. That
Yeah,
I
like it's
really
Yeah.
like it's pop coming like right out of a comic book.
Yeah,
I
Well,
am
because like
just
the, like
not
the,
on
the
board with
actors
what
sound
you
so
said.
super young. Like they don't sound
Yeah.
Well,
teenagers;
yeah,
they
they,
sound like preteen. But like
the other
also
problem,
like the whole thing, like the tone just seemed like it was aged or aimed a little
Yeah.
older than like
and then what was
kids.
the other problem people having? They're upset that April O'Neil's black because of course they are.
Well,
yeah,
because you can't
and
change
also
it in like that
Which
without
leads us
causing a
to Little
stir.
Mermaid.
she's
It's coming
Yeah,
out
she's
this
that's
Yeah.
also
year.
not
fictional
like she's
character.
also like a plus sized teenager as well. She's
Sure.
not just black that you have to be angry about. It's also
I just want to point out that the group of people that would be upset about that are probably about the age of you gentlemen here.
Yeah, they're upset.
Which
yeah,
means
no, 100%.
you're going to hear me out for a minute. So they're your age,
Mhm.
upset that the girl that they watched as a child isn't hot enough.
Yep, that is accurate.
Your childhood
It's
cartoons and comics are not hot enough for you at 40.
accurate.
Yeah,
yes,
but
that is
I never claimed that
It-
dudes our age are any good.
In their defense, when we were that age, April O'Neil was like in her probably like mid 20s.
Yeah, she was a
Yeah,
she, was-
so-
she had a job. So,
I'm just going to put this out
So
there.
she's old enough. She would have been old. We're old enough now to like where that fantasy like has
Nope.
some
So that she can
gross.
call you daddy?
Still
Is that
gross.
what you're looking for?
not daddy, but something else.
Jesus Christ.
Grandpa for Brendan.
No, I did love the fact that they cast Micah Abbey as Donatello. He was the voice of Gumball in the Marvelous
Okay.
Misadventures of Gumball, and it's wonderful.
Jordan, sometimes you say words and like I've never heard the words you're saying. Like
You've
come
never
out-
watched the Marvelous Misadventures of Gumball?
I'm not even sure if you're saying gumbo or
Oh no, sorry. I'm
gumball
thinking
or
about the Marvelous
gumbo.
Misadventures of
Gimble?
Flapjack. It's just the
That's not better.
That's
A
not
pancake?
helping.
the
No,
Amazing
thank
World of Gumball. Sorry. Oh no, the
Well,
Amazing
yeah,
World
it's
of
like a
Gumball
weird little
is
creature that exists in a weird
so
universe.
good.
I just would like to let you guys all know that this super sweet gaming laptop that I have has only been plugged in since we did podcast, or sorry, unplugged since we did podcast, and it's already like, hey, your battery is not in good shape.
That's great.
Gaming laptops. Anyway,
Yeah, Little
I don't
Mermaid. It's kind of a weird visual take on it with the creatures. Everything else is fine. I mean, it looks everything else looks like a
don't-
standard
I don't
Marvel,
like the live
not
action
Marvel,
Disney
Disney
stuff.
live action.
And
No.
I didn't when I was a kid either. Like when I was a kid, they had they weren't like the Disney princesses, but like they had Goldilocks and a couple
They
of
had
Airbud, like shit like that. I'm like,
Hmm.
about 101 donations with Glenn Close.
yep, I
Yeah.
remember that. I was never big on them. And I mean, looking back now, 101 Dalmatians was probably fine.
No, it wasn't. It was bad.
Okay. Well, the story is the
Yeah, it's
story.
fine.
That doesn't
The
change.
story is
But yeah, no, even then when I was a kid, my sister bought me Airbud for my birthday one year,
Oh,
whenever
that's
that came
awesome.
out. So I was like, I don't know, 10
It's-
maybe. And I literally never once watched it. I was like, no, this isn't a Disney movie. I hate it.
That's fair.
I think that there's like kind of like a pretty clear like example of where people kind of are with these live action remakes is because
Mhm.
in the same year that Disney did a live action remake of Pinocchio that nobody liked and everybody said was actually kind of worse than the original, Guillermo del Toro did
Ju-
like a really out there like new interpretation, kind of like adapting the material in his style but also like making it unique, and everyone loved it and it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
But Jordan, it's saying it's not as good as the original. The original is considered one of the best, animated movies of all time. So that's
But like
Pinocchio's
but that's
fucked
kind of
up,
that,
man.
that's kind of my point, is that like it's like all they really did was kind of do more or less a shot for shot remake of the original in live action, and it's like
make it
that
look
was
cheap.
like
But
job
I will
done.
say, as someone with kids, them doing that might get your kids interested in it. Like right now, if I put on
Fair.
any older Disney, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast,
Aladdin's cool. The CGI is
Little
bad.
Mermaid, any of it, they will not. If I put on Frozen, they're on board. Like my daughter will not leave Frozen. Encanto,
See-
yes, absolutely. Aladdin, mom, this is boring.
See,
I
my,
don't
my
wanna-
daughter's in that weird camp where she actually like loves the old Disney stuff. Like,
Ugh, I like your daughter.
Mhm.
She's
like
good.
like Lady and the Tramp was her favorite thing for the longest time.
I
Like
don't like
Aristocats,
Lady
I've seen
and
1,000 times.
I never got into those.
It's so weird because like most of those movies start with the credits too, right? The very first time I put it on for, I'm like, oh, we're gonna lose her. There's credits at the front. No, she just kind of sat there and waited for it to start, and then was just like,
Thanks, Brendan.
again, caught up to the whole thing. So
It
there's
seems weird
That's
to me.
awesome because my kids aren't big movie watchers. We're not huge movie people, but yeah, no. Anytime I'm like, let's watch this one, or even when it comes to like The Wizard of Oz or Willy Wonka, those were my childhood movies. My kids want nothing to do with it. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
live
you know,
action is we lose her there, but the
Mhm.
'Cause
classic
that's like
style still good for the animation.
that's the thing that like I don't know that I after watching the trailer I was like, this looks okay. I'm sure. Is it Haley Bailey Berry? Haley Berry?
I don't sure.
I don't want to say Halle Berry because we all know who
It's
that is.
not.
I read it that way every time. I hate
It's
it.
yeah, it's weird.
About,
It's so
about myself,
confusing.
I should like. I hate that I can't
I'm
separate
like
the words better.
90% sure it's Haley Berry. Um, like I'm sure she will be fantastic as Ariel because like she's got the singing voice to do it. Um, I am interested in what's her? I don't know why I
Melissa
keep
McCarthy?
forgetting her name. Melissa McCarthy as Ursula.
I mean,
Um,
I'd
But,
like to
like-
see her evil.
like once I saw Flounder and Sebastian, I was like, oh no.
I don't
Like,
think
Those
it's
designs are not
good.
great.
And
like
on top of
why
that,
did we need to make them hyper realistic? They look
bringing it back to the
awful.
Oscars, I guess people are really mad. Little Mermaid was plugged at the Oscars. They had an entire Melissa McCarthy and then Haley Berry. But God, now you got me messed up about her name. I don't wanna do that. But
Halle
they
Bailey.
came out and like there was a
Halle Bailey, not Halle
trailer
Bailey.
and everything, and people are like, I'm sorry, since when did we start doing that? It's like they slid a little Game Awards in there. They're like, hey, look
Yeah,
at the
right.
trailer. Bam. Yeah, it was no good.
I mean,
But,
I see Flounder looks real weird.
it just looks like a
I
Yeah,
can't
the-
wait
I don't-
for
that's
for
nightmare fuel.
oh yeah Haley Bailey. God damn it, Halle Bailey. God damn it. Whatever. Ariel. Yeah. No, I can't wait for the hyper realistic scene of Le Poisson as the real crab runs around trying not to get eaten.
Want that. I don't want that at
That's
all.
another thing about that movie that does not hold up at all. That whole
Le
sequence
Poisson?
is just the dumbest thing. Yeah. Speaking of your bad stereotypical accents, yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
Oh God.
I will say, and this is for anybody that knows me well, I'm excited for a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's really
Renfield.
who-
I was gonna mention that.
that's-
Yeah.
yeah, Redfield looks
I
amazing.
don't know if you guys know the like visceral hate I have for everything Nicolas Cage.
You do hate
Oh.
him.
Oh no.
When I
No,
saw
you're-
this,
You've
I was
met
like,
him. Have you met
I
him?
have met him. Well,
Yeah.
we briefly, but yeah. And I was like, but I kind of want to watch that. Remember how excited I got for that movie?
Yep.
And then you're like, a Nicolas Cage movie? I'm like, Nicolas Cage is in that? You're like, oh yeah. I'm like, no.
You know what? Love or hate, say what you want about Nick Cage. When he gets a weird role, he commits 100% to it.
Hold on.
This
hold
looks like made for him. Like this is
Yeah.
perfect.
on. That's true. Okay, are you guys all on the same like upcoming movie
Yep.
page that Chris shared? I don't know if you're near the Flash at all, but just like scroll over it real quick.
1 second. The Flash show.
Why? What happened?
Freaking Grant Gust.
Oh, it's the wrong.
What?
They did get the wrong.
The good
Oh,
Flash.
Google. Don't use AI.
That's good.
No, always use AI forever.
The real
Yeah,
Flash.
this is
The real
great.
Flash.
AI is so great.
Give us the Flash we all wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Give
that
him
made
the
me
big
happy.
budget
Maybe
movie.
Grant Gustinson shows up in the movie, and it's like
I'd-
they spoiled it.
I'd rather see him in there.
Right?
Yeah. And then yeah, so there's Brendan, you're probably pumped for Evil Dead, Insidious, maybe.
I don't care about Insidious movies. I watched the first one, then I got
No.
bored, and they made like 10 of them. and
I've
I
never
think,
seen any of them.
A Haunting in Venice sounds cool. I don't know what it's about, but that seems like a good title.
It's a cool name. Yeah,
I
for sure.
did it. I
Disney's
feel like we're,
redoing
like,
the
at
Haunted
library
Mansion.
right now, just like which one do I want? Or I guess Blockbuster would have been the other way to go with that.
I
more
mean,
fitting.
either one, or like Rogers Video.
Rogers Video. Yeah.
I don't know what you're
Jumbo Video still exists.
there you go.
Shout
Jumbo.
out.
I'll give you Jumbo. Big Jumbo.
One thing on the list too. This trailer dropped recently, and it just kind of blew it. I hadn't heard about it before this, but Strays with Will Ferrell.
The weird R-rated like dog movie.
Yeah, it looks like at first I was like, "Oh god, what is this?" And then by the end of the trailer, I was like, "I think I hate this, but I want to see it." Like it had me hooked in a
Most were
weird kind of way.
Okay,
Is
so
Will
yes, I
Ferrell
see
the
that, but I
dog?
went to a new
Will
page.
Ferrell is the dog, and Will Arnett's not Will Arnett,
It's all the wills.
Will
Guys, I
Forte,
don't.
the other Will, is his
Oh,
owner who
oh
abandons
God, I
him.
love both of those guys.
And
Just
so
I
then
need
he runs into the stray
Will
dogs played by
Ferrell,
Jamie
did you say?
Foxx, Randall Park,
no let
and
Chris finish. Go.
and they convince him to go back and bite his owner's dick off, to quote the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna read it
And
back.
the trailer is just that kind of ridiculous, like early 2000s kind of humor that I was surprised actually kind of interests me.
All right. In searching that, I found something else that's coming, and I'm just gonna send it to our little chat there, and suggest that you click on it. And
Oh,
I hope
God.
that wow, slam the door.
Oh, is this the Owen Wilson? Yeah. Paint.
Owen Wilson is doing. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
He's
yes,
still playing a happy little tree.
I
Like,
saw
Okay,
this,
so-
and it's like
So
it's like a mockumentary, or not like a
Why is he
mockumentary, but
playing-
like alternate history fiction kind of thing.
There's one
When I
picture
s-
here, and I'm already laughing. I'm
is
so
it the
happy.
poster or is it that's making you laugh?
No, it's not. If you go in, there's a picture of him actually painting. He's got a pipe in his mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah. So before this, I thought he was actually playing Bob Ross until this trailer
No.
dropped, and I realized it wasn't actually like
Oh, he's
like I thought it was a
not?
like an actual Bob Ross biopic, but it's not.
No, it's like it's a piss
Oh.
take.
It's almost
Yeah,
like a
no,
walk
I've been really
hard
painting
for
for 3
Bob
decades.
Ross.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's a
better.
perfect
I
description
feel
of
like
it.
a Bob Ross story would be really boring. That's
Probably
almost
would. Yeah,
To
that's
be
probably
fair,
what
I thought he
happened.
was. I thought this was Bob Ross, but and there's another Mission Impossible coming. In case anybody wasn't aware of that, because I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've never
Didn't
cared for
it
these
come
movies, but
out?
Haley Atwell's in it, and that makes me sad because I love her, and I want to see that she's in, but I also don't give a shit about Mission Impossible or Tom Cruise. So,
I
like,
Mhm.
don't either. Tom Cruise and I, we're not bros.
Is
We are
is
not
Craven the
bros.
Hunter a real thing that's happening? I see there's a thing for it here, and I was like,
it's well,
no.
it's in development. Whether it actually
It
sees
says
the light of day is
2023 in
another thing.
theaters, 2023.
Again, if it sees the light of day, I'll be surprised. But
The
yeah, they got
Pope's
Aaron Taylor
Exorcist.
Johnson from Kick-Ass and like the Avengers to play Craven.
I just found
Jeez.
another weird movie that has, I think, geez, Brendan, that has, I think, no one of note, but the description is follows the eccentric staff running a scrappy theater camp in upstate New York. After its indomitable and beloved founder falls into a coma, they must band together with her clueless crypto bro son
Oh
to
God.
keep the thespian paradise afloat.
Okay.
Anyway,
So we've reached the era where we're having movies about crypto bros. That's been long
Crypto
enough
bros.
Well, yeah.
that
They could be
the
mocking
Hollywood
them.
movie
But yeah,
cycle
but
has
you know
gotten to
what?
them.
yes.
If it turns out he's a piece of shit and no one likes him, at least it'll be accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Accurate,
go.
yeah.
There you go. And I think, oh, they're re-releasing Titanic. That's
I
interesting.
mean,
Oh,
my movie's
God.
gonna be
They're
released
redoing
forever.
the friggin' Haunted Mansion, the Disney's
Yeah.
Haunted
Yeah, I
Mansion,
just
the
saw that
ride.
too.
They did that once already, didn't they?
I'm
Yes,
gonna
with Eddie
need
Murphy,
the,
and it wasn't very good.
They
The
also did the
cover.
Muppets too.
I'm gonna
Oh,
need the
they
cover
did do the Muppets Haunted
for
Mansion.
Evil Dead Rise to stop.
Yeah,
Looking
it's
at
looking at
me.
you.
I don't like it.
One other thing I'm actually really excited for is Across the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That looks
no.
absolutely insane in all the best ways. And
That's
I'm
gonna be,
dying
like,
to see
the
who's
movie.
who's gonna play the Scarlet Spider because that was like my Spider-Man as a kid. When I
Mhm.
started reading comics, so I'm excited to see him included in this.
I also want to see Tetris, which is actually like being reviewed now from film festivals.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Tetris,
it's
that
on
would interest me
Netflix.
too because like there's a documentary on YouTube from a channel called The Gaming Story, and that like
Yeah.
told the whole story. It's a fascinating story.
Mhm.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious to see how they're gonna Hollywood it up, right? Like,
So it's got an 81 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's got a 58 on Metacritic.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
it seems
I
like
don't
the kind
Well-
of thing that they're gonna ruin somehow.
know. Aw.
Well,
But
it
is
feels
Owen
like
Wilson
maybe
playing a fake Bob Ross. I think no.
Little
Wow.
Hell in a Purple Crayon.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know what it is.
It was a book that
Well, I know
remember.
that, but I don't know what. I don't know who's in it or anything.
Yeah, I know nothing about it.
I would like them to stop messing with my childhood.
That's fair.
No,
That's all. That's all I got. Just stop.
money must be
they're
made.
unless they're gonna do Gruffalo. That's my favorite children's.
Fair.
I could
Gruffalo's
probably
Child for
recite it
sequel.
to
There you go.
I acted out for my kids. I'm a pretty big deal. You're just full of sounds today, my friend.
bless.
I'm also excited for the Marvels. That's gonna be
Zoe
interesting.
Deschanel and Zachary. Oh no, Zachary Levi.
Yeah, he's gotten weird.
Are we allowed to like this movie yet?
I don't know.
This is the Harold and the Purple Crown.
I
So
mean,
we did Chanel's in it though.
she's great.
I love
Zachary
her.
Levi seems like he's crazy.
He might have a problem or two.
Yeah,
He just seems
that's
like yeah,
Anyway, I think
Yeah.
we've just like started judging pictures and people now. So
yeah. Maybe we should stop.
any
that.
other last minute? Hey, I'm really excited for this movie this year.
Dune.
if it happens.
I didn't
Yeah,
see the
Yeah,
first one.
if that ever comes out, who knows?
there's a lot of things that's like they're supposed to come out this year, but we still haven't seen anything about them whatsoever.
Dune's still filming. Like they haven't even started. Like it's like we just started filming. Like okay, that's.
Wait, really?
They said they were doing some like location shooting like a few months ago. So but it looks like it's a big movie that's going to be a while to make. So
Probably, yeah. Like the post production is going to be huge on those things. Yeah,
yeah, I know.
it's supposed to be like November, I think, too. That's
You
crazy.
did that at TIFF during COVID.
I
you not?
did. That was a choice
Mhm.
because you couldn't go anywhere. So it was really annoying because you went down, you saw a movie, but you couldn't go anywhere, and everything wouldn't let you in because COVID. So you had like find a place to be until you waited for your next movie.
So many angry texts from Brendan about I'm just standing outside. I have nowhere to go. It's hot out here.
Because I wanted to go, like I was go to restaurants. Like every restaurant I could go into had like an hour wait. You could be there for an hour. So I'm like, that's not great.
Can't wait to see Austin Butler doing his Elvis voice as Timothy Chalamet's rival in that movie. That's going to be great.
Dun, dun.
Anyways,
We don't.
Wait, Austin Butler is in that? Is that what you said? Did I just miss something?
he's been cast as like Timothy Chalamet's rival for like the climax of the movie.
Oh, cool.
So Austin Butler, I used to watch on oh god, I don't even know what it's called anymore. It was like the high school version of Sex in the City.
Okay.
It was the main character from Sex in the City in high school, and Austin Butler was on that show. And now I'm like, oh, he
Oh, the Carrie
did
Diaries.
real acts. Yeah, that.
That was
Yeah,
a
they
show.
didn't he do all that crazy like prep work for Elvis and like method
Yes, he did.
acting and
People were so mad that they didn't get anything for. I don't think they won a single Oscar, if I'm not mistaken.
from what I understand, that's probably fair.
I haven't heard great things about that movie.
See, the
yeah.
only things I have heard are great things, but not many of them.
Ah.
Like it's just people that are like, "This was the best. Why didn't it win?" That's all I've heard.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's. I mean,
that's kinda
what else
what
can you go on by that? I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's.
Cool.
Yeah, to bring into the gaming side of things before we wrap up.
Gaming.
So rumors,
What?
What's this
Gaming.
gaming you speak of?
gaming.
talking
I've
about
heard it's
games?
called
Still just want to go play Stardew Valley. I started over.
video games. Well, you will be playing Stardew Valley on a PS5 Pro anytime soon, despite what a
won't.
bunch of rumors are going around saying. Yeah, so
I'm
this.
very skeptical. I mean, everyone always it's usually random plays that Jeff Grubb were like that might be a thing, and it was like, well, Jeff Grubb said it might be a thing. It must be a thing. He's just a journalist, guys. Yes, he has like some knowledge, but we all kind of know people in the industry. It isn't just like he knows he has like a blueprint of everything's coming on. No one in the industry does that. So, come your tits.
You're spending way too much time with me. Like way too much.
Yeah, no, this talk keeps going around like, oh, this is gonna be a PS5 Pro, and like they just got caught up on production of the regular
Yep.
model. Chill.
PS4 is
Mhm.
still selling.
They started making PS4s again last year with the Call of Duty
So-
bundle.
I don't think it's really a necessary thing to release PS5 Pro. Developers have barely scratched the surface what the PS5 can do, and no one really needs. It'll have more ray tracing. Cool.
Who will be able to tell? Like, do you have an 8K TV to be able to tell that? No.
Like,
Then
it's
what
just
does it
not
matter?
a thing people need right now. The PS5, yes, it's still a solid console, but it really hasn't had the life it needs to really kind of be replaced. It's been around for 3 years, 2 years.
2 years though, 3
Like,
years this
yeah.
fall, but
It's been around for 2 years. It's like been available for one,
At
if we're
most.
being honest.
Yeah.
Like,
in that
but, like,
ballpark, yeah.
this is always the discourse, and I'm always saying this, how like you cannot, like, the gamers TM, like there is no pleasing them, because I almost feel like I remember this exact same discourse happening like not long after the Switch came out. The Switch was out for like a year, and people were like, rumors of a Switch Pro, like a better
honestly,
Like,
version.
that
It's like
keeps happening. Like,
I think
this
the
thing
Switch is
just
something
came out.
The Switch
And
is
you're
one thing
right,
I think
Dana. You're
could-
100% right, because every time like Nintendo wants to do something like semi-new, or like the discourse just starts like, is there going to be a Switch Pro? Like, we're not happy with the console we have. There's got to be a better one on the horizon.
I mean, the Switch right now, I think, is getting a little old. I think it could use a refresh.
they literally
Yeah,
just replaced it. The OLED's like a minute old.
But all it is a new screen.
But-
like, it doesn't
exactly,
none of the
and-
internals have improved.
But that's-
In terms
that's
of
the thing, what was the last? Every time you talk about one of the last generations of Xboxes or PlayStations, Brendan, you have a different one. How many
Well,
different
okay.
versions of the last generation are there of each of them?
let's be
Three,
like
4?
fair.
Let's answer my question. Let's
4,
do
I
that.
think.
I think usually every console generation has a few
So
iterations.
Xbox is just coming out with 2 every. PlayStation did 2, right? You come out right off the bat with disc version, not disc version,
Yep,
correct?
yep.
Okay, cool. And then we dropped into the Pro version of them each last time, right?
Well,
1X.
1X.
1X and the PS4 Pro.
But that was like literally for a year before the PS5 launch. So it was like
But
Yeah. Go ahead.
to Brendan's point, the PS4 and the Xbox One both had what is about the typical lifespan of a console.
Yeah.
So from the PS4 to the PS5, it was about 6-7 years when they released the PS4 the PS4 Pro. What, like somewhat like maybe like 4 years into its lifespan, so it was
Well, yeah,
already kind of
it-
halfway there.
It was the end
So-
for it. Yeah.
So the
So
thing
they just
that
spent a little time, took all your money until they banged out the new one, and then took all your money again.
more or less,
My point. I don't
but-
care when it happened; it just happened.
I think the
But-
original PS4 couldn't do 4K, so they wanted something that could do
Yeah.
some 4K.
and not every game took advantage of that either. I think it was like Final Fantasy 15 was one of them. Like
God of War.
some
like
other
a-
ones
a few
did. God of
games,
War, yeah.
Do we not recall how
But-
pissed off we were a couple weeks ago when we talked about the whole like just peripheral conversation? How much it costs to get VR? How much it costs for a racing wheel? How much it costs for this? Why am I buying a system in between buying my systems?
I think of it
Because we're
like,
consumer whores.
no, I'm thinking of it this way: it's a PC. If it's a PC, you just upgrade the parts that are needed.
Yeah.
Like if it was a PC, like my video card's a little
Are
old.
we explaining why they make a new one to me like I'm an idiot? I'm well
No.
aware
No.
that it's a slightly better version of this one, but,
but
either
to
focus on the next one or call this the next
No,
one.
no. My point is, if it was like, because these basically are PCs, they are basically PCs. GPU tech will get faster and better, faster than the actual need for the games are. So you get to a point where like, okay, they can't do these 5 things. Game
Yeah.
developers are pushing those 5 things. We can wait 3 years to get something out, or we get something to kind of tide people over.
Okay, how about this, Brendan? You know I love you dearly, but you own this business, correct?
Yeah,
Which means you get to deal with a lot of this stuff, correct?
correct. Yeah.
How many consoles have you paid full price for in the last 10 years?
PS5 Pro.
let's
I
not
bought.
discuss.
Okay.
Brendan,
But
as your
yeah.
legal advisor, I'm gonna say let's not discuss.
I bought
You
it-
know,
I bought
But the
I
thing
bought
is-
One X as well.
The thing is, as
journalist
someone like
privilege.
you, that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
And people that have teenagers, like that's not an easy thing. And I cannot justify needing a console in between your consoles.
I
you're
do
gonna-
agree with you on
If you're going
that
to do
point.
that middle one, then push the next ones. Because guess what? How many issues did we have pushing out the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X?
Mhm.
Then maybe they should have waited a year or two.
Because
they
my
weren't
my
ready.
my point to like Brendan's point about the Switch is that the Switch is pushing, like, it's 6 years old now. So like, yeah, the OLED is nice, but it is starting to sort of feel its age, and like it
But
does
now it's
need
also
a bit of a
sort
refresh.
trying to compete with people it was never built to compete with in the first place. They're like,
Well,
"Hey,
There's,
we're
also,
there's a
gonna
lot
it
of
was-
indications that we would have had. There's a lot of indications that we would have had a different model of the Switch had things gone
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
Because I was
That
just
is
about to
really
say that,
insane.
Chris. Like
If
the
it wasn't
Switch,
sort
the
of
Switch
something-
ended up in a precarious situation because it was kind of recovering from the Wii U, which didn't
Yeah.
really get a full console like lifespan because
Right.
Plus,
So
and
it-
then
it-
chip
yeah.
shortages. Like, there's the
Yeah.
suggestion is that Nintendo was going to do a Pro or whatever mid-generation refresh, and didn't, which I think was wise because I mean the Switch is
Mm.
showing its age, but it's still fighting. Like it's still got a fighting chance.
Yeah.
The problem with the Switch is it's when like companies like Microsoft are promising Call of Duty on it. It just
Yeah,
physically
never in a
can't-
million years.
It can't do that. And that's why you have those
No.
cloud gaming things because the Switch
My
hardware.
phone could run that better than a Switch could. Like,
Yeah,
seriously,
no.
it really
Well, the
could.
Switch
It-
is basically it is a phone. That is what it is. It's basically a weird version of Android, sort of, with phone tech.
Yeah.
And that phone, like, imagine your phone from 5 years ago. It can barely do anything.
Yeah.
I think I even said like jokingly that like one of the things I'm like looking forward to going home to
Mm.
is my PlayStation because I've been playing nothing but the Switch for 4 months and I'm
Yeah.
kind of fucking tired of it.
Yeah, you're gonna jump on and it's gonna be a whole new world of graphics.
I
just
miss
had
Elden
friends-
Ring. I miss Death Stranding. I need like something other than
some grown-up games.
Splatoon and Rocket League, which is
Yeah.
all I've been playing.
Yeah, I get that. For me,
And-
it's yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was gonna say to come back to your point about cost and stuff. This is what drives me crazy about this conversation. With the like, are they going to do a Pro when it's so early in the lifespan? It's like people are complaining about how much the PS5 regular costs.
Yeah, it's
Shit's
Yeah.
expensive. Like,
Yeah.
A
and
Pro's gonna be
people,
even
the same
more.
people who are pushing for them to be like, "Oh, where's the Pro?" are going to be like, "Why do you want me to pay so much for the Pro?" It's just
Yeah.
this really weird cyclical conversation of like
Or how
just
about
finding
this?
things to
You're
gripe
talking
about.
they're like computers and they need to be upgraded. Brendan,
Mhm.
it wasn't that long ago that you built the first PC that you built for me.
Yeah.
Do you know how old my GPU was and was still running things fine?
Yep.
Almost 10 years old.
Which one
Yeah.
in that one?
When my first one that I had, I
yeah.
got when my son was born.
Yeah, that was.
So, and it wasn't
1050?
new when I bought it because I paid for it.
Think
And I
it was a
wouldn't have
1050?
paid for a new one.
And it's like,
Like,
you know what? And
So it works.
there's also the other thing too that like that I think we've kind of like been hinting at but not really like mentioning was that like because a big part of the reason why I was annoyed with the PS4 Pro because I'm that kind of person like I always want to be on the cutting edge of tech when like
Mhm.
Me
like a new
too.
I bought every DS when it came out like
Mm.
because I was like oh my god a shiny new DS I need it but like the PS4 Pro was like you need to have this and also a 4K television if you
Yeah.
want to do what it's capable of doing. So
No,
not
no,
only
the-
are you buying
the
like a
PS4 Pro-
$600-700 console, you're going out and buying a $500 television.
You had the choice of PS4 PS4 Pro. You had the choice of it would make textures more detailed in 1080p, or it could do 4K. You had the
Yeah,
choice of
But if
those-
you want the top end,
But that's
the
the whole
brand new
thing,
you
right? It was
just had
like-
to buy because your last thing isn't good enough anymore. Like
Exactly.
My whole argument for this is okay. We just got PS5.
Yep.
And then right before that, you had PS4 Pro, and then before that, you had PlayStation. And just for the record, my rant goes toward Xbox too. It's harder to
Their
say
name is
because it
just
has
focusing on
extra
one
damn
thing.
words.
in this
PS4
case.
Pro, PS5, and now we're gonna
It's all the
stagger
same.
it with a PS5 Pro stay.
Sure.
Why not, rather than like I said, push out that fucking PlayStation 5 when the market wasn't ready for it because they didn't have the pieces they damn needed.
Yeah.
There were
And
no
COVID
games
shut everything
for it
down.
yet.
Mhm.
So why not just take that little bit of extra time with that PS4 Pro, make it a full-fledged cutting edge console, and then the PS5 is your next one when there's something new because they weren't fucking ready. So instead they're just throwing out these, well, like it does something a little bit different, so you should probably buy it to hold us over for the next hunk that isn't going to be ready anyway. We all jumped out and bought these PS5s and these Series X's, and we had no games. We had not the right software. We had, our friends not able to find them to play with us. We had all of these issues, but now they're like, but you guys worked really hard, and some of you are just getting the PlayStation 5 now because we didn't have any, but here's another one. Excuse you?
To be fair, I think at the 5-year mark is when they start releasing anything new. I think right now is way too early.
Probably.
At most,
But
it's
should
more,
it be at the 5 and the 6 year mark or the 5 and the 10?
usually constant generation is 6 to 7 years.
So no, it should not be at the 5 and 6 year mark.
Plus-
it'll be one of those two, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying right now, it's not because you said the PS4 Pro came out much closer to the PS5 than it did to the PS4, correct?
It was at the 5.5.
Let's
6 year mark,
look
And
it
how
up.
far away was it from the PS5?
I'm googling.
about
Okay.
a year and a half, too.
Yes, that's
PS5
exactly my
PS4
point.
PS4 was released November 15th, 2013. The PS4
Okay.
Pro was released November 16th, 2016. So 3 years after the
Okay,
initial
and then
launch.
the PS5 now it's what
And the
2020?
PS5 came out what was it? 2020,
2020.
So
2020.
they did 13, 16, 20.
Every 3 years, basically.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then why are we just calling it like a mid-range thing? Like that was a 7-year gap between their main consoles. At that point, it's just a console. The way you were saying it, it sounded like it came out, 5 years apart, and then a year later they gave you the actual console.
I thought it was close. I thought it was closer.
No.
And I would assume Xbox did the same thing because they
Yeah.
do the same.
They follow the same cycle.
And because I actually do like genuinely remember being annoyed about it because like
Yeah.
I waited a little bit. Like I
Mhm.
I think I didn't get my PS4 to like 2014 or 2015 I think, and then like literally like a year later it's like, oh, here's a shiny better one you could have bought, and I was
But I
like,
will say, this is
mother.
what we tell people with phones too, though. Brendan and I were looking at the new Samsung S23 range, and I found my S20 Ultra, and it's still comparable to the S23. Like it actually has a better, probably like some software issues, but a better camera than the S23 Plus, was it?
Yeah.
So like, maybe we don't need it every 3 years. Maybe
Well,
don't.
and
No, but
I mean, I feel
Capitalism.
like this generation of hardware might last a bit longer too, just because of the nature
Yeah.
of game development, where it's taking six or so years to
It
make a
takes
AAA game.
At least 5 years to release a game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'd be like,
A game we want to play anyway.
I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
when I was looking back on some older articles, just because we have a lot, and I was looking at, we had an argument about how Square Enix and a lot of the big titles they were going to release, like let's go with Kingdom Hearts, completely missed the PS3. Like it was supposed to be launched around like the second to third year into the PS3, and they just didn't, because games take a while to make. And even if you have like a 5 to 6 year like lifespan of a console, that's one game. So you have one game from a studio in the entire console generation. That's
Well, it's even now like Chris, you work with a little more. PlayStations are out now, right? Xboxes are out. You can find them pretty
I think
easily.
Xbox has been
Yeah,
out for a while.
everything's pretty available nowadays.
That's
Yeah.
still pretty recent, is it not? Like last 6
I've
months. to a
been
year?
looking
Since for the holiday season, actually, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'd say
so
they've
that's
I've
not
been
far
looking
away. And they're talking
recently.
about not making games for the PS4 and all that anymore. I'm like, you guys barely got your shit together.
This is the year where
Well,
you're starting to see the stuff get cut off, right? Because like there's
Yeah,
exclusives
'cause
like Final Fantasy 16 and
16.
Spider-Man 2. Even Midnight Suns is only launched on next gen and not on current gen. This is the transition year for a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Did they say they were doing a Switch version of that, or did that get canned?
For Midnight Suns,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. There's supposed to be like a current gen version for PS4 and Xbox One. Maybe you're thinking of Hogwarts Legacy.
The thing is,
No, there's a Nintendo page for it.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, I
On
don't
the
see that
website.
happening, but
if it can't run on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it probably won't run well on the Switch.
yeah, at this point, I doubt that's going to see the light of day.
Yeah,
but
'cause
if
it
it
just-
does, I mean, that's a good fit for it. but-
It just says releasing in 2023, but I do remember like seeing and kind of being excited for the fact that it was coming to the Switch as well.
Yeah, I don't.
The fact that there's still no date for the PS4 and Xbox One version has me concerned for a
It's,
Switch version.
yeah, don't
At least the Wizard game has dates
And-
for like the older systems, but
And as to the argument for like the Switch updating, I feel like the reason they're needing to do that is because they're trying, like, they're no longer just Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're not, the family console. They're not, the Zelda console, the Mario console, the whatever. They're trying to take on things that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry.
think every console should be everything. I don't. And they want to be
Yeah.
now. But
And,
they
well,
weren't
Nintendo-
prepared to be.
Nintend's been dipping their toe in that water pretty much
Yeah.
since really
And they should do
since
that
the
on their
DS.
next console, not their
I mean,
in between
I
console.
don't think they want to. I think they want to keep the Switch form factor for a while.
Well,
But even
if-
still, they
if-
can make a stronger one, but that can be their next big thing. Like, why do just a little bit so Call of Duty kind of runs?
I think it's based on the mobile. I think they're just going to use the new mobile chips, and that will probably be a generation newer, like the
I
new
feel you're
mobile
missing
phones.
the point of what I'm saying.
well,
I think
and
it
yeah,
will
well,
be really tough.
to Dana's point, like the more I think about it, when you really look back through Nintendo's history, primarily with their handhelds, they've been doing this forever. The Game Boy, the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP, the DS, the DSi, the DS Lite, the 3DS, 2DS. Like
It's been
3DS
their
Pro,
handheld
like,
MO for sure.
Crazy.
so like it really does seem like this is just what they
Mind
do
you,
with their
those also
handhelds.
aren't
They give you 6 different
$700
options.
systems. I'll give you that too. The Switch is not, and Nintendo products are not $700 systems.
No, and
Plus-
to its credit, like they are kind of priced for what they are. Like the Switch Lite is
Mhm.
significantly cheaper than the Switch
Yeah.
because it doesn't do half the things the Switch does.
Plus, I mean, Nintendo always has the advantage of not flexing on the pure hardware side so much. Like,
Mhm.
they've never been trying to push the technical envelope. They've always
Yeah.
been satisfied to have a slightly less powerful machine at a
It's
better
like they pick
price,
the
games.
doing
convenient
better
envelope,
artistic things.
the fair
Yeah, I mean-
envelope. They have their own envelopes, and that's fine.
They
but
take
I still don't need a new
risks, at least
system
with their
every 6
consoles.
days.
Yeah.
That they say, but this screen is shinier. Okay,
I mean,
come back to me in your 5 to 10 year window when you have a
This-
full blown new thing for me. Yes,
this
that
should
is
have been
good.
like this should have
The-
been
the
like
old- the
the
old one was
first
bad.
kickstand. Yeah, the old one was woof.
What if it kind of
That should have been
precariously sits there?
standard.
Yeah, it's
That's
I
also
mean,
There's
Nintendo's
always
MO,
oversights,
is
right? Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
reselling you solutions to the problems they created.
I think. Well, if you look at this, the new 2DS would be the equivalent.
I
Remember
never
that?
touched anything after the regular DS.
So I think what they might want to do is just say, okay, new chips are here. They're cheap enough. We can make the new console for the same price we're making the current console or close to it. Release a new Switch. It's going to be the Switch New or whatever it is. It plays
Yeah.
the same stuff, but it has certain
Super
games that just
Nintendo
work better
Switch.
in it. Yeah. I think that's what they're going to do. It's more the fact of when it's economical. You don't want to make a new Switch that's like $300 more than the old Switch. You want to make it basically replace the old Switch. So when people buy the new one, it's better.
And I
That's
think
what Nintendo always
like
does.
Nintendo, I think Nintendo's a little bit like they're keen on like when they have games too, like kind of like the Breath of the Wild was supposed to be a Wii U game, and when the
Yeah.
Wii U didn't pan out, like it was basically life support for the Wii U, but they moved
Yeah.
it to be a Switch game. Like
Didn't it
Tears of the
actually come out on the
Kingdom
Wii U?
does. It did
It
come
did,
out,
yeah.
yeah.
That's where I
It
played it
released
first, actually, yeah.
simultaneously. And I think I remember people saying it actually ran better on the Wii U than it did on the Switch.
Yeah,
It's
I
still the
understand that.
favorite for like speedrunners, I think, actually. I
Yeah.
heard that recently.
Weird.
But like the by comparison, like Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like that's looks like it's being like developed primarily on the Switch, and they wouldn't put something out that was that big if they had a
Yeah.
new console on the horizon, because again, it's just going to be like life support for the Switch when they have
Yeah.
the Switch Pro around the corner. Like they'll probably have something big enough to announce alongside it as a launch for a better, bigger system.
Mhm.
So it's like game development in that sense, like would probably like have to coincide with console development.
Yeah.
That being said, I think next year we get the new Nintendo thing, but
It's
it's
I feel like I've been here at CGM for like 5 minutes. When I look at it, it's actually been a couple years now. But like it still feels like I've only been here for like a year. And I'm
Right.
like, how have I had this many new consoles? How has this happened? I don't understand. But maybe
Sometimes I
that's
feel like
just
that
my
too, and then I
behavior.
remember conversations we had, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that was a long time ago, actually."
I mean, also this moves very quickly.
It
They
does,
will
yeah.
announce the
Yeah.
thing 2 years before it comes out. So you're like, oh, it's just coming out now. Like, no, it's been in the works for a while. Like the PS5, they announced it like it's going to be coming out eventually. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
They
or it's like
keep
you like
going.
or the and then there's like the Switch where it was like, yeah, by the way, this is out like next month.
Yeah, it was real quick.
Yeah, they.
I wish people would do that. Just tell me like a minute before. I get real stressed out about it. Like I bought when the Xbox and the PlayStation came out, I bought my partner a PlayStation and I bought myself an Xbox because I didn't have one after my ex and I split.
Mhm.
He kept the Xbox, and rightfully so. So I had a computer and I didn't really game a lot. I stopped, and then I was like, I'm buying it. And then I was like, this is too much money on myself. So I gave the Xbox to my ex-husband, who now has 2 Xboxes. Then eventually I got the purple. The Fortnite version of the I don't know
Switch.
which version of
1S.
that's how bad it is. I don't know which
Oh.
version of the Xbox. I don't know if it's the old
1S.
one, the 1S, sure, that. And then when I did finally get myself an Xbox, I gave that one to my niece and my nephew, who I'm pretty sure don't ever touch it. But such is life.
You know,
My son just.
I'm
has
actually
to-
at the point now where I'm considering like trading in my old original Switch that I held onto as a backup for like a second OLED. because we're starting to actually use them both in my household
My
now. I'm like,
daughter's
this
starting to
is
touch stuff now. I've got an OLED. My son has a regular Switch, and then we have a Switch Lite still. For his birthday, my son just got a Series S. Which, by the way, parental controls are my fucking nightmare. You'll read more
how
about that
is the
soon.
Series S?
It's good.
How is that?
Good. We like it. Just
Yeah.
don't ask about the friggin' parental controls. It's near impossible, especially if your child lives in 2 places.
Do you have to do
Yeah.
You
it
are a
through some
broken
like
home, you're
annoying
screwed.
app, like with Nintendo?
I get emails and things like that, and it wants me to approve things. So if he's at his dad's trying to do something and I'm even remotely busy, it won't work. Like it's been, I gave up. I'm like, well, no more
Sucks to
parental
be you.
controls. I hope my kid isn't screwed, but he's never alone. But even still,
Yeah.
it was really
Back in
frustrating.
my day, our parental control was they take your controllers away.
Well,
And
that
that's
and
how we
there
liked it.
weren't other adults speaking to you through your games.
That's very
Although when
Yeah.
I was a teenager, there definitely was. I could have used some support.
Yeah, no, I
Give
think
me
when
a
I was a
parental control.
teenager, there were another. When I was an adult, there weren't other adults speaking to me through my games. There were
Yeah.
teenagers cussing me out and
I
saying they
probably
did
could
my
have
mom.
used some like parental control over my MSN Messenger. That should have been a
That's the
thing.
way we liked it, I tells you.
Do you remember our names on MSN?
Yep.
I
Weird
had
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I don't know. Can I say bad things on stream?
Of course
No.
you can.
No, he's saying no, so I
Go
don't
for
know.
it. Okay.
You
I
know what?
believe when I was probably 14 or 15, my entire MSN name, I will never forget it, was eat me, beat me, bite me, blow me, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna keep not finish the whole thing because it gets worse. So it was real bad.
The
And
13
my
things you can't say on
aunt,
television.
well, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it doesn't get better. I can say that much. And it's really long. And I'm pretty sure that my delightful aunt was like, Dana Eileen. I'm like, oh, no, I found out.
Young
Then
lady.
there was another one that was like, fuck, a duck, screw a kangaroo, 69, a porcupine, damn, I love the zoo. That was also an MSN name of mine for a while. Just with
Okay, now,
Damn,
how much
Dana,
of that
Dana
did you
was an
understand at
edgy
the time?
teen.
unfortunately more than I should have. But
Okay.
yeah,
Mine,
no, it
'cause
was
did
good.
you have a Dark Starlings account as well?
No,
Her eyes
I
went
think
up. She knows what I'm talking about.
what was I keep thinking it's like Habbo Hotel, but I don't know if that's actually
Habbo
what it
Hotel
was.
was my shit back in the day.
You
Don't
were
even.
like a little dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you made a little
it's
avatar, a little chat room.
yeah,
No,
that was bad.
Dark Starlings was MySpace for emos.
Oh no, I did not have that. I
Vampire
had,
Face.
It was
My
so-
sad
It was,
space.
the, it was the least edgy place on the internet.
oh my god.
It's MySpace, but it's MySpace to cry.
It was my
Wah,
my safe space.
wah.
And I'd never heard about that one, but
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, I know.
I had a
I knew some-
MySpace
I
and
knew
I could
some-
never figure out how to do like the cool backgrounds and the music. It was so sad. I was just like, I don't know how, and I'm really good at asking people for help. I'm so really good at saying I need help or getting people to teach me things. If anybody here in
My
the room is
MSN
aware,
Yeah.
I cry and I yell. I yell a lot. So mine was sad.
I really wish I had
Yeah.
parental controls in place to stop me from writing my name where I was like alternating caps and thinking that was
Mm.
really cool and
Oh,
edgy.
all of my names also there were
X.
cute little stars.
Yeah.
CXHXRX.
Oh, my
X, big X, and then alternating
little X.
letters, the
partner's,
song lyrics.
PlayStation
Hey,
handle is still
I resent that. I
XX
got an X in my name.
underscore XX.
Oh
me.
man,
Ninja X
that's
I
too
made
Jordan.
up a
many
weird
X's.
name when I was a teenager, and I just stuck with it. It's still my name on everything.
Should have been
There's
like
no
a
weird
gamer tag. Should have been like too many X's in your name. No, you need to go back.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Ugh,
Jeez.
good times.
Mm.
On that
Memories.
depressing note,
Very much so.
that's gonna do it for us for this week. If you'd like to read more on these topics, except for our old usernames from when we were 13 years old,
Yeah, I mean,
you can
no,
find
we're not-
more on these topics at cgmagonline.com. Be sure to follow CG Magazine on all the socials. Just search for CG Mag. You'll find us. And if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to podcast@cgmagonline.com. Jordan, where can people find you?
Sometimes on Instagram, sometimes on TikTok. Not really. At Ninja X Jordan, and you can find me, as my iconic hat says, on YouTube at Ninja Jordan
iconic.
Reviews.
Not iconic.
Signature.
It's
I'll give
my
you.
iconic hat. I
Well,
wear
we
it
see
every
you back
podcast. How is it not
for-
iconic?
It's signature.
Yeah.
It's your
It's,
signature.
no, it's iconic.
yeah.
It's my iconic hat.
No.
It is your hat. I
Your
give you that.
character hat.
It's my
Hey,
you
it's
iconic
definitely
hat.
yours.
Will we see you back in our country anytime soon? Is that a place we'll
You
see
will see me back in Canada on the 28th. Well, not really the 28th. My flight leaves on the 28th, but by the time I get home, it's going to be like midnight, so it's going to be the 29th.
All
Hey,
right.
we can almost pass each other in the air. There you go.
That's cool. You just wave if you see any other planes going by.
If
Just
you're
assume
in
that
the, if
we're
you're in the Orlando, if you're in the Fort Lauderdale airport for any
He's
reason,
going
come
completely
Oh.
say hi.
yeah.
completely different
Broncos.
direction.
Dana.
If you get past
Hey,
security for
you
whatever
can
reason.
find me with my name spelled wrong the entire time on screen. But
Really?
also, yeah, my name
Danes.
is not Danes. It's
We call you
Dana.
Danes.
Claire
No, we're
Danes.
super
this
cabbage
entire
at work
time.
when we're near the water
Let me
cooler.
know one more thing Brendan did to not give a shit about me tonight. You can't read your own typing? That's our
By the way,
editor,
this
ladies
is
and
a bad time
gentlemen.
to mention it, but
Anyway,
you're
It's
fine.
not handwriting.
it's at the Dana Eileen. Don't bother trying to spell it because my boss can't. So
Just
here we
screenshot
are.
the screen.
Like, are you squinting? Do you need help? Your computer is up against you. Mine's 12 feet away and I can see
Mine's
it.
farther than
Excuse me?
You can't see
'cause
with
you're
those
leaning back like
glasses.
this now. It's like mine's so far away. That's crazy. Look how far it is.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, it's late and I'm angry now. My name's Danes. Up. Good old Danes.
Good old Danes.
Classic Danes. Typical Danes.
I broke Brendan. That was so much fun. Oh.
Man.
Giggle
Remember
at
I
it.
said I don't laugh.
One of
I
us
only
got a
laugh
giggle
at people's
a Dana.
expense. He's not wrong. I probably am hangry, just for the record. That's probably true. I'm really
I'm a
terrible.
little
I'm really-
angry too.
Couldn't hurt. I
I'm
mean,
afraid of
I made
burnt
lunch
out
for
because of
everybody today, and they
yesterday.
ate all of it and left me nothing.
Nice.
what?
well, you
What's
did
the
make it
Yeah,
for
I made
yourself.
I made lunch before I had to
What
do
do
my preview, and then I went downstairs after, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like, oh, finally I can eat, and I like lifted up the like all this chicken that I had made, and there was literally like the one little tiny piece left. There was like no like anything else, and I was like, this is the thanks I get, huh?
Well, should have made it for yourself, not just everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Brendan.
what, Chris? Hindsight.
Brendan, where can people find you?
Beef Fret 26 and everything.
Funny that that's all spelled right.
I mean, you tell me that. I don't actually know if it is.
Again,
You know,
I'm the
good old
editor, ladies and gentlemen.
Brens.
You see anything wrong on the site, don't at me, okay? Don't at me. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
And you can find me everywhere at Hugathy. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Thanks for
just gonna
tuning in. We'll catch you
We're
next
done.
time.
Chaos and anarchy.
Have a lime Snickers like I had.
I'm blurry again. Fuck.
This is Purgatory.